Right. Hello and welcome everyone to our study of the Advent of Divine Justice. This is actually our last study. Thank you so much, Ehsan Bayet, for putting these materials together, for everything that you do, everything that you've done with Crimson Academy. And we're just going to have a brief overview of everything we've discussed for these several weeks, and right now I'm going to say the opening prayer, and then I'll turn it over to Ehsan, and I'll have a short PowerPoint at the end.
Thank you.
This is the prayer revealed to the Bahá'ís of the Southern States. This is, oh my God, thou seest me in my lowliness and weakness, occupied with the greatest undertaking, determined to raise thy word among the masses and to spread thy teachings among thy peoples. How can I succeed unless thou assist me with the breath of the Holy Spirit? Help me to triumph by the host of thy glorious kingdom, and shower upon me thy confirmations, which alone can change a gnat into an eagle, a drop of water into rivers and seas, and an atom into lights and suns. O my Lord, assist me with thy triumphant and effective might, so that my tongue may utter thy praises and attributes among all people, and my soul overflow with the wine of thy love and knowledge. Thou art the omnipotent and the doer of whatsoever thou willest. All right. Well, welcome back, everyone. Ehsan, would you do me a favor and give us a, go ahead.
So I'm
Thank
going
you.
to recap the whole book, okay? Per se, actual letter. So I'm going to do a quick, as they say, summary of the whole letter for all the friends that may have missed the last 40 sessions. Okay? So first of all, dear friends, find an Advent of Divine Justice. Okay? Whether it's an older version, one of these, but I recommend find one with paragraph numbers. Okay? So then you can follow along as a study, know which paragraph number corresponds to which paragraph. Okay? And also in this course, and I encourage you to go back through the sessions and watch the sessions, as this course has been going paragraph by paragraph through the Advent of Divine Justice. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview of the 124 paragraphs that the beloved guardian wrote December 25th, 1938. And why did he write it? He wrote it for the purpose of the first 7-year plan, the success of the first 7-year plan. Right? Yes, please, you have a hand.
One second. When you move, it's like your audio is fading in and out. So if
okay, I apologize.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I'll try not to move. There we go. Try not to move too much. There we go. Okay, so anyway, so as mentioned, this was written in 1938 for the success of the first 7-year plan. And but really, it is really for the whole formative age, for the Bahá'ís to undertake the task of teaching. And how to undertake this task of teaching is the transformation of the inner life, as well as to take on these incredible challenges that are surrounding them in the great society, as well as afflicting them in the Baha'i community. And the beloved guardian outlines them: corruption, laxity of moral character, as well as racial prejudices that are in greater society, as well as they're, per se, permeating into the Baha'i community. And the beloved guardian, in the Advent of Divine Justice, directly and in unequivocal language, says that the Baha'i community needs to eradicate these type of evils within the community and through the example set forth by the Baha'i community, work to extinguish it within the greater society. This is called the double crusade. First, beloved guardian, in the opening paragraphs, set forth his praise for the National Spiritual Assembly of the Baha'is of the United States and Canada, their stalwart service, their duty, and how they have been raising the banner. And then the beloved guardian starts his outline of the importance of this day, as well as the problems that are the Baha'i community, as well as greater society, are facing. These challenges. Remember, 1938, right? 9 months later, World War II. So there's incredible, unimaginable chaos that is, impending crises that are about to afflict great society as well as the Baha'i community. And so what happens is the beloved guardian starts letting the Baha'i community aware of these crises that are impending crises, preparing them not to be, vacillate and not to be troubled, but to stand strong and take on these crises and remain unified. Okay, so this is how, the beloved guardian speaking. So then he also says that this is not the first time that the Baha'i community has had to undertake these crises. And then he mentions in paragraph 16 that the history of the early American Baha'i community, remember, this is written to the North American Baha'i community and the North American Baha'i community, the United States and Canada, right? The Baha'is of the United States and Canada was written to, best beloved brothers and sisters in the love of Baha'i, to the beloved of God and the handmaids of the merciful throughout the United States and Canada. So this is who the letter was written to. Doesn't mean it was only written to them, written to the Baha'i community at large. But specifically, these Baha'i communities, especially United States, this fledgling Baha'i community, the first words uttered by Reverend Jessup in 1898, the words of, E.G. Brown, as quoted from Baha'u'llah, talking about the world peace and the most great peace shall come. And then from that point, all the way up to the rise of the Baha'i faith in this country from Ibrahim Khairullah and Anton Haddad, and then this slowly moving seedling, a sapling even, just emerging from the true sacrifice of these early American Baha'i community. And we read that in paragraph 16, as well as if you go back in our course, we covered America and the Most Great Peace, which was an incredible document. It was one of the world order letters, and we covered it in this course. And that is where we get a glimpse of that 40-year period from in the history of the cause, from 1893 to 1933. So how did the Baha'i community, decade upon decade upon decade, evolve from strength to strength? So then we started marching on, and the beloved guardian has not only outlined these major challenges from corruption, laxity of moral character, to racial prejudices, right? One after another. And then the beloved guardian says, this is my solution. These are the major crises afflicting the greater society, as well as these crises are afflicting the Baha'i community. These are the ones that are facing the Baha'i community. Now, this is at the very outset, remember, the very outset, 1938. Think about it, dear friends. If our dear early Baha'i community took on these challenges of racial prejudice in 1938.
I'm sorry. You're gonna have to keep your face towards that microphone. Otherwise, it's gonna continue cutting out too much.
There we go. I apologize. If the challenges of this National Spiritual Assembly directly, if they took on the challenges of racial prejudice in 1938, and that's pretty much one of the major things they did, which at times they did. Think about the transformation of the Baha'i community and of how when this, per se, George Floyd episode, or any one of these great crises that afflicted our American Baha'i community, they would say, where can we turn? Which community should we turn to? Oh, they have the answer. And this happened in the 60s, the 1960s, when the crisis of with civil rights. Why do you think, of all things, the Baha'i community grew so much in the 1960s, 70s? Because not only teaching happened, but they looked to an example community that was actually practicing what they preached. And what better text than the Advent of Divine Justice that sets in unequivocal language how the Baha'i community should address prejudice. And so, dear friends, this is, I encourage you, if you have not picked up the Advent of Divine Justice, if you have read it, say, 10 years ago, or 12 years ago, or it's gathering dust on your beautiful bookshelf, I encourage you, pick it up, because this is our blueprint for action. This is not something even just to say, I studied it. This is a manual for action. Cannot say that in any clearer language. Yeah, we studied it in detail for 40 sessions. But why did we do that? Because this is our manual for action. The beloved guardian, he had a lot of things to do. Go read Priceless Pearl, what the Real Khanums, clearly wrote about all the things that he did. Yet, during a time of crisis, when his life was in danger in 1938, his life was in danger, that he couldn't even be in Palestine because they were coming to kill him, that he actually had to flee and go to Europe. And that's where he wrote this in 1938. He had so many things on his plate, as they say. But he wanted the friends to transform their character, to take on these challenges. Corruption. And corruption doesn't just mean political corruption. Corruption means of the vices. Think about purity. Something that enters it becomes corrupt. Imagine your heart. If something enters it, it is no longer pure. So we have to constantly be on guard from anything that enters our mind or anything that enters our heart. So we are not having corrupt thoughts. Purity. We have to also work on freedom from racial prejudice actively. And it's not like, oh, I have lots of African American or Native American or Asian American or Indian American or any type of American. I have lots of those friends. What are you doing to actively promote the oneness of humanity? In your life, in your space, in your family, and promote and honor lovingly. What are you doing? And this is the distinction that a Baha'i should be doing. And in your business, these are all types of things in your life, every sphere of your life, because this is how you become recognized as a Baha'i, that you walk the talk. So these are all right there in the Advent of Divine Justice. So the beloved guardian is trying to create his new race of men, right? Rectitude of conduct, a chaste and holy life, and freedom from racial prejudices. He outlines them one after another, his prescription for living. Then, after, I would say, almost 40 paragraphs, and these are not short paragraphs, and remember, dear friends, many friends get overwhelmed by the writings of the beloved guardian. Say, oh, Ehsan, it's too hard, too hard. You need to read them, digest them, read them out loud, practice, soak them in, study them over and over. And if you need assistance, go over the recordings in this session to assist you. But I recommend practice, read, and then it will come more naturally. So after at least 40 paragraphs, the beloved guardian is outlining one after another his prescription for taking on these challenges of laxity of moral character in this country and in the Baha'i community, as well as taking on a chaste and holy life to oppose the corruption as well as the licentiousness, the nudism, and all the forms of, per se, abhorrent sexual vices that are in society. And so the beloved guardian wants to create a holy life within the individual. Then the beloved guardian also says, in America, there is a sickness, and this sickness is racial prejudice. And it has taken root. This is an incredible word, the beloved guardian says. It's taken root within the American country. And so he says that it needs to be uprooted, and it has to take supreme effort. It says the whites must make supreme effort, right? And it says in conjunction, the blacks also should make a conjunctive tremendous effort. So hand in hand, they walk and work to resolve this. So this comes up almost in the paragraphs 50 to 60 range, right? Then the beloved guardian starts outlining his pattern of how to teach, okay? How to undertake the role of teaching, okay? As well as he says before this, he says, why are we doing all of this? He says this is all part of a twofold crusade. This is all part of a twofold crusade. We find this paragraph 60. First is the transformation of our inner life and the Baha'i community. First, the transformation of the inner life and Baha'i community, then the transformation of society as a whole. Twofold crusade, right? Then he says, after this, then the beloved guardian goes, and then he talks about in paragraph, I believe it's paragraph 75, all the different things that we have to undertake to prepare ourselves for teaching. Paragraph 75. He says, let me quote, okay? They need to familiarize themselves with the various aspects, history, and teachings of their faith. Their efforts to achieve this purpose, they must study for themselves conscientiously and painstakingly the literature of our faith. Delve into its teachings, assimilate its laws, ponder its admonitions, tenets, purposes, commit to memory certain of its expectations, prayers, master the essentials of its administration, and keep abreast of its current affairs and latest affairs. They must strive to obtain from sources that are authoritative and unbiased a sound knowledge of the history and tenets of Islam. So here the beloved guardian, paragraph 75 says, it's not just, a transformation of the inner life and character of the individual, no matter how wonderful that is. It's not just a transformation of become a chaste and holy life. And it's not just a transformation of the inner life to a work to eradicate racial prejudice from the heart. He says to become a mouthpiece. You also, in paragraph 75, says you have to painstakingly. The word is painstakingly. So obviously there should be pain involved. Means work hard at it. He says painstakingly to do what? Commit to memory. Commit to memory. And the essential and preliminary history and teachings of our faith. Put it up here, dear friends. You gotta remember these things, the dates, the names, the history, the tenets, the principles, all of these things. So when you open your mouth, which should be the dominating passion of your life, to teach the cause. When you open your mouth, you actually have something that is connected from here to here. You actually have some substance, as they say. So that's beloved guardian. He's saying, and then because Islam is the foundation of our faith, he says that you need to find authoritative sources, unbiased, and you should have a sound knowledge of the history and tenets of Islam too, on top of it. Then the beloved guardian, after paragraph 75, and going all the way almost up to the end of the Advent of Divine Justice, the beloved guardian is now directly addressing the pioneers. Because if you recall, the second half of the first 7-year plan is one of the goals was for the Friends to pioneer to Central America, South American countries and establish the faith there. And so the beloved guardian is now calling upon the Friends to pioneer, but how pioneer, right? How do you go teach and how do you approach it? So here the beloved guardian is now in the latter paragraphs of the Advent of Divine Justice, giving the tools. How do you present this beautiful faith of ours? He quotes from Baha'u'llah, he quotes from Abdullah, is presented like a jewel, presented like a gift, and he goes on. And there's so many incredible quotes, and I don't want to paraphrase, but I want you to, dear friends, just to, as they say, I've given you a taste of it, and I encourage you to open it up and little by little embark on this beautiful journey of study of the Advent of Divine Justice. Okay, there you are. That was a short, as they say, snippet to take you through what is this Advent of Divine Justice. It's a manual for action, and something that is really for the transformation of our own character, to undertake day by day, ruse per ruse, and every day work on it by ourselves, little by little, little by little, work upon ourselves, so that you will be a better you tomorrow. And how can you do about that? Is reflection, meditation, as well as taking concerted effort. When the beloved guardian talks about addressing racial prejudice, take concerted effort. What are you doing proactively to address these issues in your life? You know, for example, I'll give you a situation. For example, if in your community you have a wonderful, wonderful African American friend and they're sitting alone, what are you doing? How can you go up and approach them, give them love, invite them to your home? You know, or is it in your home is only, you know, wonderful Persian friends or white friends or friends of, you know, but is that friend always being invited? You know, how can you go out your way? Concerted effort, right? Tremendous effort. The word of the beloved guardian. What are you doing to make the community inclusive, loving, and a place that would feel so warm and so enriched and so different? Remember, new race of men, and needs to be diametrically opposed to the general community. So how can you make it so appealing? That is your challenge, the supreme challenge that Baha'u'llah is presenting to you. To go out of your way, right? This is what Advent of Divine Justice is. The day has come. Divine justice, the Advent of Divine Justice means this is the kingdom. The day of judgment has come. Baha'u'llah has come. So, dear friends, I don't know how short that was, but that was my synopsis of 124 paragraphs, you know, but I encourage you to read it and reread it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ehsan, for all your effort, everything that you've done, your ability to put this together and to explain it so succinctly and clearly. It's been a real pleasure. I'm going to start this PowerPoint. This PowerPoint is also, it's just 2 pages, 2 slides or 3 slides. And it's going to have mainly just a couple of resources that all the viewers can access. And let's see, So 1 second. Share the screen. There we go. Okay, you see it?
Yep, there it is.
Fantastic. So in conclusion, you can start looking at clearwaterbahais.org. And I'm going to open this link up, but you're not going to see the link, are you? I'll have to come back to it. You can go to our Facebook page, which is Clearwater Baha'i Center. And you can also go to the YouTube channel, which is actually a shortened version, is youtube.com/Clearwater Baha'is, all one word. And then let's go to, and you can also visit the Crimson Academy. And that is the Crimson, CrimsonAcademy.com. He also, Asan has a playlist for that as well. So that's the same. You can go to youtube.com, but this one is, I think if you have that, it means you can just go to youtube.com/The Crimson Academy /playlist. Should work.
Exactly. So yeah, I did playlists. I sent it to Dear Jeremiah, so you can see all the different course materials and videos there. But the Crimson Academy is a site that Dear Jeremiah is sharing there. It has a myriad of notes on different texts, including the Advent of Divine Justice and books from Baha'u'llah and the beloved guardian, Abdul Baha. And so you can go there, and everything there is free, and you can go, and all the notes are available. Thank you.
Wonderful. One last, I'm going to share just the actual Clearwater Baha'is website, and we'll also show your website as well. There is the crimsonacademy.com. So you can go there, you see your courses and notes and more audiobooks. And then you can also go to Clearwater Baha'is website. It is under educational resources, spiritual study courses, and the Advent of Divine Justice study course. And when you click on that, you have the playlist, the YouTube playlist is specifically linked here. And this will not be here anymore because we're done with the Zoom sessions. And then at the very bottom, I will put this slideshow for today. All right. Any last words before our closing prayer, Esan?
No, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I want to thank Dear Jeremiah and John, the Clearwater Baha'i community. I want to thank our dear Scott and any of our dear friends, also Mr. Hakim, who was there through several sessions, assisting and giving great insights as always. Want to encourage any of the friends that may have ventured into the study of the writings of the beloved guardian and suddenly felt, oh, it's too hard. Oh, it's not easy. Oh, I get lost. Don't give up, okay? Go to the Crimson Academy website, okay? There is study guides, there are notes, there are materials, okay? And go to the sites that Jeremiah mentioned, the Clearwater Baha'i YouTube page, and watch the videos that are there, and you will see it's broken down paragraph by paragraph. Have your Advent of Divine Justice handy. Take notes. Know that these wonderful textbooks are, they're, per se holy. There's holy words. But don't be hesitant to have a pencil and a highlighter and take notes in them, okay? And understand. Have discipline, okay? Take time out of your day, every day, to get into the writings, okay? And that takes discipline. Anyway, dear friends, it's been an absolute pleasure and honor being with you week upon week. And just want to thank the Clearwater Baha'i community, especially Sir John and Caroline. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh my God, thou seest me in my loneliness and weakness, occupied with the greatest undertaking, determined to raise thy word among the masses and to spread thy teachings among thy peoples. How can I succeed unless thou assist me with the breath of the Holy Spirit? Help me to triumph by the hosts of thy glorious kingdom, and shower upon me thy confirmations, which alone can change a gnat into an eagle, a drop of water into rivers and seas, and an atom into lights and suns. O my Lord, assist me with thy triumphant and effective might, so that my tongue may utter thy praises and attributes among all people, and my soul overflow with the wine of thy love and knowledge. Thou art the omnipotent and the doer of whatsoever thou willest. Again, thank you all so much. Have a great Mother's Day.